World War II wasn't just fought with tanks and rifles. Entire neighborhoods turned into battlegrounds without warning. Without soldiers, civilians left to defend themselves turned everyday tools into defense systems. Pressure traps made from tin cans, smoke flares crafted from chimney soot, windows converted into alarm systems using string, glass, and gravity. These weren't military operations. These were survival tactics designed under fire, and shockingly, many of them still work. In this video, uncover 11 home defense tricks from World War II that were forgotten over time but remain deadly effective when everything else fails. If security ever breaks down again, these are the tactics no one will warn you about. Number 1, glass on string window traps. A single string, a few broken glass shards. That's all it took to set a home defense alarm system during World War II. Windows were the weakest point in any house. Civilians who couldn't afford guards or guns built traps using whatever was available. Broken bottles provided sharp, noisy pieces. String, sourced from curtain cords or old laundry lines, tied them together. And gravity did the rest. Glass pieces were suspended just behind windows, hung in rows, barely touching. Any vibration, even from a slow push or a shaking hand, triggered a loud clatter, enough to wake the house, enough to scare off anyone hoping for a silent entry. Installation didn't require tools, just creativity. Nails, hooks, or bent pins were used to suspend the trap system inside the window frame. No damage to the house, no need for electricity. Zero maintenance. This tactic worked best at night. Darkness amplified sound. Even a light touch on the window pane caused the glass to tremble. The sound wasn't just noise, it was chaos. And chaos bought time. In some homes, multiple sets were placed across front and back windows. One small house could create an orchestra of alarms using nothing but trash. A second layer of string often connected the bottom row to door handles or furniture, triggering noise with movement across the room. Even today, the same concept applies. Glass on string remains a free, non-electronic way to alert against entry, ideal in off-grid scenarios or during power loss. No batteries, no tech, just recycled fear turned into protection. This wasn't luxury defense, this was survival using scraps. And it worked. Number 2, boiling water barricades. Not every home had bullets, but every home had a pot. During World War II, boiling water became a last resort defense method, especially in urban homes with upper floors or stair access. If the enemy crossed the door, the second line of defense came from above. Metal kettles, large stew pots, even tin cans, anything that could hold heat was weaponized. Water was boiled until steaming. Timing was everything. Too early, it cooled. Too late, there wasn't time to pour. Placement was critical. Stairwells, narrow doorways, attic access points. These traps didn't need to hit directly. Splash radius alone was enough to disarm or disorient. Burns on skin, steam in eyes, one strike often stopped everything. Some setups included makeshift pulley triggers, a thin rope tied to the handle, looped through a nail or overhead hook. When the rope was pulled by a footstep, door movement, or wire trip, the pot tipped. A cascade of boiling water fell in silence until it hit. Others used direct hand pours. A person positioned behind a banister or doorway, ready to tip the contents at the first sign of movement. Precision wasn't necessary. Gravity did the job. Many mixed salt into the boiling water. Salt raised the boiling point. Hotter liquid, more damage. Floorboards above staircases were sometimes drilled to allow small streams of hot liquid to rain down slowly. Psychological warfare at its rawest. No fire? No problem. Hot ash or coals mixed with water still caused burns. Even heated cooking oil in smaller quantities created enough pain to force retreat. No electricity, no tools, just fire, water, and resolve. Boiling water barricades weren't traps. They were statements. Any step forward meant consequences. Number 3, safe rooms. When defense collapsed, retreat wasn't weakness. It was strategy. World War II homes built makeshift safe rooms, fortified hideouts designed not just to protect, but to buy time. No blueprints, no standard designs, just stone, wood, and instinct. Basements were common choices, but not all safe rooms were underground. Pantry closets, storage cellars, or even wall cavities were converted into fallback points. Thickness of walls mattered. So did silence. A creaky floorboard could cost everything. Noise insulation was improvised, using blankets, flour sacks, or stacked furniture. Ventilation holes were carved with hand tools, small, concealed, and angled to avoid detection. Some rooms used straw mats soaked in water to prevent smoke from entering during nearby fires. Stocking was minimal but strategic. Dried food, candles, water jugs, and cloth for sanitation, all hidden in crates, labeled as tools or firewood to avoid suspicion. Sharp tools were often disguised within broom handles or furniture panels. Lighting was rare. When used, it came from low-wick oil lamps or blacked-out candle jars, visible only inches away, invisible from outside. Smoke was controlled or eliminated completely. Some homes built layered access entering through one room, then a crawl space or a second hidden door behind shelves or wardrobes. Multiple doors increased confusion and delay. Escape routes weren't always viable. The goal wasn't to run. The goal was to survive the search. Walls were sometimes double-lined with bricks or hollowed to create crawl-ins. Soundproofing was enhanced using clay or mud sealed into cracks, especially in urban zones with artillery noise. Protection wasn't guaranteed, but survival chances doubled with preparation. Safe rooms didn't offer comfort. They offered one more night. Not designed to fight, built to outlast. Number 4. Chimney smoke signals, no radio. No phone, just smoke. Chimneys became signal towers. Every puff carried a message. Every twist in the air told a story. During World War II, civilians turned fireplaces into communication hubs. Smoke patterns replaced spoken words. One signal saved lives. Another warned of danger. Timing mattered. Morning smoke blended into daily routine. Afternoon signals stood out like flags. Evening plumes gave the illusion of normal life while sending coded alerts. Color was key. Damp wood created thick, dark trails used for warnings. Dry fuel gave lighter smoke used for safe passage or cleared paths. Cloth soaked in oil added density. Salt thrown into flames changed hue. Chemistry became language. Smoke bursts weren't random. 3 quick bursts meant enemy seen. 1 long plume meant area secure. A spiral rising slowly. Movement spotted. Families knew the code. Neighbors watched the sky. Roof watchers kept eyes on distance. Signals synced across streets, across villages. Urban resistance units used rooftop signals to warn of patrols, raids, checkpoints. No shouting, no paper trails, just smoke. Wind had to be factored. Too much speed, message lost. Wrong direction, enemy saw it first. Timing had to sync with natural flow of the day. Chimneys disguised with branches or blackout cloth to avoid suspicion. Some homes built false chimneys, hollow tubes, not connected to stoves, used purely for signaling. Children weren't allowed near signal fires. 1 wrong toss, code misread. 1 puff too early, ambush wasted. Precision was everything. Flame size controlled with cloth, coal, or kindling. No roaring fire, just enough for the code to climb. Smoke wasn't just a byproduct, it became a lifeline. Every roof became a watchtower, every fire a conversation. Silence in the streets, language in the sky. Number 5. Camouflaged garden trenches. Lush vegetables on top. Dirt escape routes below. During World War II, gardens weren't just for food, they were layered with survival. Civilians dug trenches right under vegetable patches. Camouflage was perfect. Natural, growing, constantly maintained. Enemies passed by rows of cabbage, never guessing what lay beneath. Trenches ran narrow, just enough for one person to crawl through. Dug by hand, covered with wooden planks, topped with thin soil and planted seeds. When the time came, hands pushed up through soft patches. Escape began. Every trench had multiple functions: hideout, passage, or weapon stash. Buckets buried inside held canned food, documents, or sometimes makeshift weapons. Waterproofing done with tar, oilcloth, or layered burlap. Footprints were avoided, garden tools left casually on the surface. Chickens, sometimes allowed to roam, disturbed the soil naturally, covering signs of use. In rainy regions, runoff systems were dug into the side. Clay pots placed at the base collected seeping water. Nothing wasted, everything hidden. Entrances hidden under compost piles. Exit points surfaced inside chicken coops or wooden sheds. Total misdirection. Some trenches linked homes. A connected street could mobilize without being seen. Underground, neighbors became allies. Above, just quiet gardens and bees. Smell control mattered. Herbs like mint or rosemary planted near vents masked human scent. Smoke vents designed as ground-level holes, disguised under bushes. During aerial scans, nothing seemed off. Symmetry and crop placement kept suspicion away. Rows remained straight. Growth stayed consistent. No patch looked freshly turned. Emergency flares sometimes stored near exits. One light into the sky. One neighborhood vanishing underground. No tech, no radios, just dirt, discipline, and design. Defense didn't always look like barbed wire. Sometimes it looked like a tomato vine. Number 6, pan rattler triggers. In World War II, kitchen pans tied with string and wire transformed into early warning systems. A single clank, immediate alert. Pans strung across corridors, windows, or hidden garden paths. Lines tied to door handles, loose floor tiles, or fence gaps. Intrusion triggered the system. Sound pierced silence. Everyone moved. Metal choice mattered. Lighter pans gave sharp, quick clinks. Heavier ones echoed longer, used for external warning. Placement decided response. One near the back door meant escape. Two near the front meant hold position. Strings coated in wax to prevent creaking. Wires hidden under rugs or inside wall cracks. Strategic tension ensured even the lightest touch set them off. A misstep wasn't forgiven. Daytime setup resembled drying lines. At night, it became a trap. Casual look on the outside, deadly awareness inside. Some homes used tin cups instead of pans. Others hung spoons inside iron bowls. Sound signature became family code. One sound meant intruder. Another meant returning ally. Children taught not to touch the lines. One false rattle panic. Trust came from discipline. Windproofing essential. Weights added to reduce swing. Tied to tree roots, door hinges, sometimes bedposts. Invisible web of awareness. Multi-room systems linked through shared walls. One pull. Rattled kitchens across 2 homes. Instant coordination. Instant defense. At night, sleepers kept ears trained. No deep sleep. Just light rest. Broken by metal's voice. Pan triggers weren't just defensive. They were psychological. Unseen. Unpredictable. Invaders heard noise. Lost nerve. Surprise gone. In blackout conditions, sound became the only radar. No electricity. No batteries. Just steel and instinct. Civilians turned kitchens into war rooms. Every utensil earned its place. Silence turned into signal. Number 7. Flour dust. Tracking. Lights off. Door closed. Footfalls on wooden floor creak. Tiny white trail follows. Broken sack spilled flour spilled hours before. Flour trail becomes silent witness. World War II households used flour sacks heavily. Wheat and grain rations came in cloth sacks. When break-ins feared, spilled flour served as makeshift motion sensor. Dust spread inside thresholds. Wherever intruders stepped, flour marked with unmistakable contrast. Floorboards just inside behind entrance hall covered lightly in flour. Nails or nails embedded toes, sharpened surface. Step inside, flour crushes. Footprint clear. Alarm raised, either by sound or by noticing shape of trail next morning. Spilled flour near windows or broken panes also used. Wind drifted flour dust onto ledges. A fresh drift meant someone climbed in. Ripples across dusty surfaces exposed hiding spaces. Tracking worked best under candlelight. Shadows on white clarified footprints. Family members lay low, whispering over hearth. Door handles, windows, cracks checked. Flour dust provided evidence without need for guard or weapon. Salt or ash, sometimes mixed in to mask smell or contrast. Flour-ash mix left gritty pattern that cleaned with water but visible in mud next time. Floor swept clean after dusk. Fresh dust laid before dark. Dawn light exposed intrusion. Method not documented in military manuals. But civil defense reports mention use of rugs, sawdust, floor dust for detection. Flour, especially common in ration-distributed households. Spillage naturally happened. Turning that accident into defense required only foresight. Risk existed. Flour smell attracted pests. Moisture ruined pattern. Breezes swept away dust. Floor unevenness distorted prints. But even imperfect prints helped. Detected sleeping intruders, looters, night prowlers. Today, same principle works. Talcum, flour, even chalk used for perimeter alarms. Slightest disturbance visible, invisible till traced. Flour dust tracking, silent method. No complex mechanism, no heavy equipment, just scattered dust and sharp eyes. Number 8, decoy room lighting. Fake lighting setups created illusions of occupied houses. During World War II, British decoy sites used QL lighting to mimic town lights under blackout regulations. Window lights, door lights, left ajar, street lamp signals, all simulated to attract enemy bombers away from actual targets. Lights placed behind veils, fake windows, or in frames meant to look like buildings. Flickers from dummy rooms behind canvas or wood panels fooled aircrews. Generators powered subtle glow effects in control bunkers known as starfish and QL sites. Lights synchronized to mimic activity. Shutters opening, curtains parting, interior lamps switching on and off. Spectacle lasted long enough for bombers to misjudge altitude, target location. Fires added later to simulate destruction already made. Light pollution controlled, only dim glow visible, light sources disguised behind slit shutters or semi-opaque glass. Blackout curtains used to block true interior lighting, while decoy lights mimicked reflected light from real homes. No bright spotlights, soft amber glow. Hue similar to lit gas lamps of civilian residences. Flickers matching timing of lamps being lit at dusk or during curfew. Movement of light behind clothing lines, behind window slats added realism. Control stations placed at safe distance. Lighting rigs activated on cue when bombers detected or radar signals suggested aerial threat. Decoy lights turned on to draw attention away from real homes and industrial targets. Starfish sites diverted thousands of tons of German bombs from Bristol and other cities. Fake room lighting still works today in similar contexts. Power outage zones, off-grid situations, remote homes, backup lights intentionally placed to mislead would-be intruders. Number 9, soap-on-floor defense. World War II households had little but often kept soap bars. Soap scraps, fat remnants, grease on floors to clean boots. When danger loomed, soap became defense. Thresholds just inside doors got smeared with thin soap paste. Outside, foggy lights masked sheen. Intruders stepped in. Foot hit slick surface. Balance lost. Fall. Noise. Alert. Back hallways, porch steps. Mudroom entrances turned treacherous. Soap mixed with water, just enough to coat floor without leaving thick residue. Spread shredded cloth strips to blend edges. Draped narrow rugs over paste to hide trap. Peeled back when needed. Soap choice mattered. Hard bar soap, grated fine, produced slippery powder. Soap shavings mixed with soot or sand added texture, just enough to detect moisture, ensure slip effect. Greasy soap left over from washing dishes or oily rags used. Steps on icy nights became double threat. Soap paste on cold board plus damp sock equals instant skid. Indoor floors, stair landings, corridors, anywhere boots scraped across wood. Noise broke silence. Fall startled guards or looters. Scrapes on knee or elbow meant hesitation. Intruder paused. Time gained. Risk always present. Soap visibility increased if light hit paste. Residue smelled off. Cleanup required. Family members had to avoid usual footsteps after setting trap. Use sparingly. Thresholds used for food, laundry paths avoided, soap reserved for windowsills, entries used least during daylight. Trap reset nightly or when slickness wore off. Effectiveness depended on surprise. No warning. One slip enough to derail threat. Slower movement, cautious stepping. Tied shoes, all neutralized by slick floor. Useful when no weapons. When bare hands only defense. When alarms too loud, guns too dangerous. Neighbors unreliable. Modern utility remains. Off-grid homes, temporary camps, survival shelters. Soap on floor, still cheap deterrent. Indoor motion detection without tech. Number 10. Loud floorboard mapping. Wooden floors creaked. Loose planks groaned. Every step became a story. Floorboard mapping turned creaks into alarms designed to signal approach. Front hallway boards tested for noise above silent carpets. Pressure on weak spots meant footsteps crossing inside living rooms. Floor mapping converted houses into acoustic sensors. Homes built with uneven floorboards offered natural defense. Nails exposed, joists weakened, boarding loose near entrance halls. Layers of floor dust, old rugs shifted aside, furniture moved to amplify sound. Entry from back doors tested first. Loose panel near stairs identified as high-yield noise point. Mapping initiated. Step just outside door equals sounds at threshold. Footstep near middle equals vibration in center hall. Exit near window equals rattle overhead. Nighttime kept surfaces cold and boards dry. Sound traveled easily. Rubbing feet across creaky panels caused alert sequences heard in bedrooms, basements, across walls. Weapons unnecessary. No shared signal needed. Sound itself warned occupants. One trembling floorboard under weight meant intruder. Doors never inspected until natural creak filled rooms. Old floor nails twisted. Small washers inserted under boards to increase resonance. Loose tongue boards pried slightly. Hinges removed so boards tremble. Mapping maintained. Night by night testing stabilized which boards offered loudest warning. Boards marked subtly under rugs or near walls. Residents memorized pattern. Sound amplified by empty rooms. Kitchens, hallways free of furniture acted like echo chambers. Mats and rugs removed in danger zones. Silence preserved. Listeners alert. Rust on nails, damp wood, rain softened floorboards, but mapping survived. Dry months best? Wind-tight homes insulated sound. Mats replaced with thin cloths. Floor repair delayed intentionally at strategic spots. Mapping not taught in manuals. Oral learning. Shared among neighbors quietly behind blackout curtains. Mapping worked. Burglars stalled. Looters stepped back. Intruders misjudged floor strength. Night raids delayed. Modern use. Similar mapping works in cabins, wooden floors, temporary shelters. Footstep sensors. Motion detectors now replace, but basic woodwork sensing remains powerful. Loud floorboard mapping before World War II defenses, wooden house zones under threat, would have given time before detection. Wood still creaks. Boards still worn. Each creak becomes signal. Mapping wood becomes shield. Number 11. Firewatch roofs over cities at night glowed from incendiary hits. No warning, no defense. Fire watch orders came under air raid precautions in 1940. Premises, factories, rooftops assigned watchers. Incendiary bombs dropped constantly. Flame suppression needed fast. Decks, chimneys, roof gutters scanned constantly. Glass fragments, glowing embers, and sparks above rooftops detected by trained volunteers. Stirrup pumps kept ready, buckets of water stationed, sand and wet sacks nearby. Every tool mattered. Night suppressed sleep, and darkened skies concealed danger until the flashpoint. Watch chairs patrolled rooftops. Watch chairs moved patrols through roof ridges where incendiary bombs lodged. Watchers used ladders, sheltered walkways. Exhaustion met resolve. Visibility low, fog or blackout curtains increases chances of disaster. Watch party teams formed, roles defined. One member stood lookout, others battled small sparks immediately. Fires extinguished before spread, roof tiles lifted to remove smoldering remains, waterlogged cloths dumped into hot spots, flames smothered with sand when water scarce, light source minimal, lanterns covered, flash signals avoided, noise minimized. Sneaking incendiaries need silent response. Wet roofs and damp sacks used. Shovels, anything that can beat flame back. Fire watch duty compulsory for big buildings, factories, apartment blocks, heritage sites. Watchers given basic training, uniforms optional, armbands often used, watches scheduled in shifts, rest intervals essential to avoid fatigue. Firewatch didn't end with bombs drop. Smoldering embers after raid, roof debris, hot coals inside ruins, all burned long after sky went quiet. Duties continued until sunrise. Spots around chimneys, skylights observed. Smoke or heat, early warning. Modern relevance remains. During power failures, wildfires, blackout conditions, firewatch method still works. Roof, chimney, vent observation. Ready tools, rapid suppression. Vigilance over comfort. Duty over ease. Firewatch isn't nostalgia. Firewatch is survival built into watchfulness. Into every rooftop, every watcher, every ember spotted before flame consumes. Not all battles were fought with bullets. Some were fought in kitchens, in bedrooms, in basements, by people who had nothing but courage, resourcefulness, and the will to protect what little they had. While soldiers held the front lines, civilians created their own lines of defense, lines drawn in boiling water, creaking floorboards, and smoke signals from chimneys. These tactics weren't just clever. They were raw survival. Each one carried the weight of sleepless nights and the constant fear that the next knock on the door could change everything. These weren't tricks. They were lifelines. And what's even more powerful, they still work today. History doesn't just live in textbooks. It echoes in forgotten tools, dusty attics, and whispered memories passed down through generations. And if we don't bring those lessons back to light now, we risk losing them forever. You've just seen how ordinary people became their own last line of defense, with nothing but boiling water, wire, and willpower. But this is only the beginning. There are hundreds more stories buried beneath the surface. Stories that never made the history books. Tactics that could still save lives in a world where the unexpected happens every day. So if you believe that the past still has something to teach us, hit that subscribe button. Because the world may have changed, but survival still respects those who prepare. And trust me, what's coming next is even more unbelievable.